Ambassador Lauder, Mrs. Safra, CEO Robert Singer, presidents and members of Jewish communities worldwide, thank you for inviting me to speak at this important event. I'm honored and happy to be here with all of you. This year, we celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Balfour Declaration, the 69th anniversary of the State of Israel, and also the 5th anniversary of the liberation and unification of Jerusalem. This is the time for the Israeli cabinet, the Knesset, and you, the representatives of the Jewish people from all over the world, to advance the vision of Greater Jerusalem, to extend its borders to include the Jewish towns in its vicinity, Gush Etzion, Givat Ze'ev, Ma'ale Adumim, and Beitar Illit. We must strengthen our hold there to ensure the Jewish majority in Jerusalem in the face of all those who are trying to question the undeniable historical and religious connection between the Jewish people and Jerusalem. A united Jerusalem is and will be the eternal capital of the Jewish people. Isaiah prophesied thousands of years ago that the borders of Jerusalem will be extended upon the return of the Jewish people to their homeland. It is written, הרחיבי מקום אוהלך ויריות משכנותייך יטו, אל תחסוכי, אריכי מיתרייך ויתדותייך חזקי, כי ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, וזרעך גויים יירש, וערים נשמות יושיבו. אל תראי כי לא תבושי, ואל תקלמי כי לא תחפירי, כי בושת אלומייך תשכחי, וחרפת אלמנותייך לא תזכרי עוד. Isaiah chapter 54. But ladies and gentlemen, Israel is more than a prophecy from the Torah. Today, Israel is a global center of high-tech and innovation, and an island of strength in a stormy region. In the last 8 years, as a Minister of Transportation, I have been leading, together with the government and Prime Minister, a major modernization of Israel's infrastructure. We have built new roads and bridges, new train tracks and light rails, new seaports and airports, as America did 150 years ago, as Europe did 70 years ago, and as Asia and other countries has done in the last decades. You can see all this with your own eyes when you come to Israel. But both Israel and the Jewish communities around the world still face serious challenges and threats, including Islamic terror, a delegitimization campaign against Israel, and anti-Semitism. The world cannot, and we will not allow it, to accept a situation in which Jews are attacked in their own countries and forced to hide their Jewish identity. We will continue to demand that governments of the world adopt an uncompromising position against anti-Semitism in words and in deeds. I guarantee you, here from this podium, that the Israeli government will support you in fighting anti-Semitism everywhere and every time. And as Israelis and as Jews, We must never turn a blind eye to the suffering of others, and specifically to the tragedy in Syria. The recent chemical attack by the Syrian regime, in which little children were gassed, received a fitting and overdue response by the United States. I salute President Trump for his leadership in responding to that attack, which was important both morally and strategically. The United States is the leader of the free world and should lead from the front. The developments in Syria emphasize the threats presented by the strengthening of the Iranian axis in region. In view of this threat, the United States and Israel should reach understandings regarding Syria and the region. These understandings should include US recognition of Israeli sovereignty in the Golan Heights. The Golan Heights is and will be forever an indivisible and integral part of the state of Israel. Join American-Israeli opposition to a permanent Iranian military presence in Syria and Lebanon, on land, in the air, and in the sea. If Iran bases itself militarily in Syria, it will require Israel to deploy larger military forces permanently in the Golan, in the Galilee, in order to protect itself from possible attacks. We have not faced such a threat since the signing of the peace agreement with Egypt nearly 40 years ago. And an escalation conflict would be a heavy burden on the Israeli economy and society. The understandings should also include sanctions against Iran until it stops supporting Hezbollah and other terror organizations in the region. Tougher, more paralyzing sanctions must also be imposed on Hezbollah in order to weaken it and to avoid the need for the use of overwhelming force against Lebanon in the future. President Trump's new decision to impose heavy sanctions on Hezbollah is very important in this regard. In addition, the United States and Israel, together with other countries in the region, should work to block Iran and prevent a territorial continuity from Iran through Iraq and Syria to Lebanon. We have to formulate a joint strategy and work together to stop Iranian imperialism, stop Iranian support of terrorism, and stop Iranian nuclear development. These are serious threats, but I am heartened by the potential for regional cooperation under American leadership. I believe Israel's regional policy should be guided by a three-layer concept which includes regional security, regional economic initiatives, and in the future, based on the first two layers, regional peace. The first layer, regional security, should focus, as I said, on building a bloc against Iran. Iran is part of the problem and must be pushed back, or it will threaten not only Israel, but the whole region and stability of the Sunni states. The second layer, the economic layer, is based on the understanding shared by many people on all sides of the political map that in the present circumstances in the region and in the Palestinian arena, we need to acknowledge what cannot be done and do what we can be done. We should, therefore, focus on civilian economic initiatives, which should be advanced in cooperation with countries in the region, and with support and leadership of the United States for the benefit of all sides, including the Palestinians. In this framework, I'm proposing to advance a regional transportation initiative, a railroad initiative, which will fulfill Israel's potential as a land bridge between the Western world and the Mediterranean on one side and Jordan and countries to the east on the other side. This potential already being realized in recent years because of the obstruction of the route through Syria due to the civil war. Thousands of trucks have been arriving by ship at the Haifa port from Turkey and crossing Israel to Jordan and countries to the east. This initiative will connect the Palestinians from the Jenin area to Arab countries to the east and to the Haifa port to the west, strengthening the Palestinian economy, and Jordan will become a regional transportation hub which will give a great boost to its economy. This initiative will also enable the US to develop new markets in the Middle East through products that will be made in the US in plants which will now be built or rebuilt. American corporations could even lease a port in Haifa to serve as an unloading and loading point for goods moving by train to Arab markets in the Middle East. And it's important to note that this will be a safe and secure alternative to the shipping lanes via the Straits of Hormuz and Bab el-Mandab, which are threatened by Iran and its proxies. So this initiative will have economic, political, and strategic advantages. In addition, I'm continuing to advance the idea of building an artificial island with a port and civilian infrastructure installations for water, energy, and gas 3 miles off the coast of Gaza. If realized, this project will provide the nearly 2 million Palestinians crowded in the Gaza Strip an economic, humanitarian, and transportation outlet to the world without endangering Israeli security. This initiative could make all the difference. They could be game changers. As you know, nothing is simple in our region, but I believe the 3-layered concept is very practical and realistic. And you, members of the World Jewish Congress, can and must play an important role in bringing the parties together and advancing this initiative in the United States and around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, when Israel is strong, you are strong. And when you are strong, Israel is strong. We are all responsible for each other, as it said, Kol Israel Arevin Ze Laze. Thank you.
Mr. Minister, I would like to thank you to take the time to come to our Congress and be with us this morning. And this is a very symbolic Torah pointer as a gift from the World Jewish Congress. and I hope you will point to us always the good direction to go. And like we point in the Torah, we could continue pointing to our Jewish values, our Israeli cherished feelings, and we thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.